head screaming, gotta get us out or we won't be breathing, yeah. Will this madness ever end? Picking up the pieces, going down the road again. Will this madness ever end?
He mixed it and it just sounded like really sick, like exactly like how I wanted it
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
And I just got super excited. And I wasn't even dancing like crazy. I was just like kind of like just grooving out to it, and then I jumped and landed on my foot like this, and
just the worst, like just that 1 in a million type thing. It
yeah,
seems like.
it's actually called a dancer's fracture.
Oh, really?
I thought the doctor was messing with me, but I looked it up and it's like
that's interesting.
The bone that's right here, it's just broken half, and that's like. It seems like that'd be common because like rolling.
Yeah, it makes sense. I've seen people in MMA lose fights because of that for sure.
Yeah.
They like step and they like if their foot kind of doesn't get lifted off the ground as much as they expect, and they drag it a bit and then put the weight down. They end up folding over it.
It's the weight, like it just like I landed and it's just like instantly, and I knew it was broken. Like I heard it. I was like, oh, yep, no. And I broke this foot 12 years ago too, on the other side.
Oh my goodness!
I jumped into a pool and it. Crack. It was a bit too shallow.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Damn, that must have hurt.
Holy that was the first time I ever broke a bone.
I broke my arm once when I was young, and it was the same thing. Like I knew right away as soon as I landed, I heard a crack too, and I was like, I know that's broken. I actually went into shock. It was so bad.
Really?
I don't know if it happened to you, but I didn't cry or anything. I was in so little pain.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
This one I was in pain, a lot more pain. With the other one. The pain didn't come till later.
Yeah. So probably a little bit of shock, I guess, at first or whatever. It's probably a normal thing, but for me, I was like, I think it was like 8 hours I waited at the hospital too, and the whole time I was just like, by the end of it, it was really sore, but it was numb for the first like ages. It was really weird.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was surreal. Even looking back now, I remember being like, how weird is that just your body knows to do that right away. It just cuts off that like pain or whatever that is that's coming.
That's extreme. Because you're just like you need to like. Fix that shit.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, I need to get here.
Like survival
or
mechanism
something.
or whatever. Yeah, no joke. Yeah. Sorry, and I didn't mean to switch subjects to your foot. I remembered it was broken though. Yeah, and that was So is that song done now that you were dancing to? Or
it's not
still
done.
not. No, it's in the vault still.
Yeah, it's in the vault still. I have the chorus and I can't think of I couldn't think of really of the verses yet.
Yeah.
It's called I don't even know what it's gonna be called because I already have a song called Numb. The chorus is like running through my memories while my whole damn face is numb. They're telling me that I should stay, but I don't listen to them. I'm running out of enemies, better go and get me some. What's the last one? Something, but the end is near the come. Or something like that.
That's cool though. That's cool. That's a vibe. I like I like that enemy's line. Gotta go get some.
That's my favorite one.
Cool. Oh, that's nice. There was something else I was thinking about one of the first lines of that too. Oh, you could call that Faces. Or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Because you do. I was actually just listening to Numb earlier, so that's cool. That's a good track, man.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's one of my favorite ones I've done for sure.
I really like the one you did with KM too. Is it Waiting for You? Is that what that one is?
Hiding
from you. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, I've seen the video and stuff. It's dope, man. The video is good too. You did a good job.
He went hard on that. I produced that beat too. Nice. Pretty much that album we did mostly all together, except Acid Rain and that song I did all on my own, and then he did All Night.
That's dope. Yeah.
That was the beat that started the album, that All Night one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I reached out to him, and then we he got me a few shows and stuff before, but I didn't really hang out with him or anything.
Yeah,
and then that's what really kind of started our friendship kind of thing.
That's cool. Yeah, that album's good. Spinning of Chaos is a good album.
Thanks,
you guys did some good work on that. Yeah, and watching it live, you guys are performing some of the songs and shit. It's pretty dope. You guys have good energy.
I appreciate that. Yeah, your set that night was wild. I really liked it.
I did all right that night. I did all right. But yeah, it was a really fun show in general. I had a lot of fun that night. I was maybe I had a bit more to drink than I should.
The guys from fucking Newfoundland blew me out of the water.
Reggie Morales and Albert Dalton,
oh,
right?
Yeah,
they were dope.
Crazy.
I was really impressed by them too.
Me too.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah,
they were,
no wonder
awesome.
they were nominated for CMAs.
Yeah, no joke. Oh yeah, no, they were. I remember sitting at the table and I was live streaming it actually, and people in the comments were talking about it and shit, even in the live stream. So even people that were watching from wherever they were in the world, just on scrolling through the internet kind of thing. They were talking. They were like, "Oh, this is pretty dope." That was kind of cool. My battery got low, so I had to turn it off later in the night. I couldn't live stream the whole thing. don't think, if I remember correctly. I'll have to check, actually. It like saves all the live streams I do, so I can download them and stuff. I'll have to check if I have the full set.
Okay,
But I don't think I did, because I feel like I didn't even get my own set.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was pretty messed up that night, but I was having a great time. It was fucking fun. Like, I probably drank. People were just getting me drinks as the thing. So, like, I only bought one drink of my own, and then people just fucking came up to me and like,
Yeah, I had people offering me shots and stuff that night too. There was quite a few people getting pretty, like, they're having a great time, which is awesome.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah,
that was cool.
It was fun.
And that was that your first headliner show, sort of thing?
First headliner show here. I've had some other ones. Like, I hosted open mics actually in Wolfville, and that was like, you get like a 45-minute set of your own kind of thing.
That's 45-minute sets at their open mic.
And for the host.
Oh, okay, I
Just
see.
for the
Okay,
host.
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But they don't do that anymore.
Right.
But you used to get paid like $100 and then free drinks the whole night
That's
too.
pretty dope. That's not bad. 45-minute set too. That gives you a lot of time, like, especially if you're doing it for like a whole year or whatever. Like, that gives you a lot of time on stage to really work on stuff and get comfortable and stuff.
Well, their thing was they don't do it at, like, they still do a mic, but it's not like this. They don't have like different hosts. They used to just like hire like a band or a person to host it and then do the set. And you wouldn't get it every time, but if you like reached out to them like every month or so, you could probably get it. So I've done it like 2 or 3 times, but when I went back in September or whatever, I reached out and he's like, yeah, no, we don't do it like that anymore.
Yeah, venues. I don't know if maybe it's a money thing. You never know.
I think it was a money thing more so. Because
there's a lot of venues, even ones in town, that a couple of years ago even were paying performers to come and play, and now it's like they don't even offer the opportunity, or it's like you can rent the space maybe and put on your own show, but they're not. A lot of people aren't paying people to come out anymore. It sucks.
I was talking to a guy. He's like the chef at Hunter's or something. He's my brother's like girlfriend's friend or whatever, and he was talking to me yesterday about like how they used to like pay people to come out, and I guess they have an open mic there, but I don't even know when it is or whatever. But he said like they pay their host like $300 or whatever, and like and free drinks too.
That's pretty good.
And but I just never hear about it anymore.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, because I hear about their trivia night and stuff like that. But
they used to have it like before COVID, I guess, more often. But he was telling me about like they'd end up like not really making much money paying for some of these bands kind of thing. Like they paid for Gob and it was like $3,000 or something.
Right, yeah. It's
and
hard
they
to
didn't make any. I guess he was telling me they're like, that band's like typical rock star shit. They literally asked for a fishbowl full of just green M&Ms.
Oh my goodness, no way. That's hilarious.
And they got it for
God,
like
they did. Yeah, of course.
They
like
had
it's a rider.
person like literally just get a bunch of different M&Ms and pick them all out kind of thing.
That's crazy. And what's crazy is like just the price, like obviously paying Gob to come out is one thing. When they have a demand like that, that's also paying an employee for 4 hours to do that.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it costs even more on that.
And then buying the M&Ms and then like all the shit they would ask for. There was another band that said like normally it's like $600 to $1,000 they would pay a band or something, but and they usually like make their money back, but that one was like a big, and I think that's what he was saying why they kind of slowed down with that kind of thing.
It's hard to make money as a venue these days when you're paying that much just up front to get somebody in the door. And so that's why a lot of places do DJs now too.
Yeah.
It's easier to pay a DJ to come every weekend instead of having to worry about like the sound setup of a whole band or paying more money to individual band members, whatever it might be. Like,
and people are gonna be like they're gonna want to see the go there. If they don't know the band, then they're probably not gonna go or something that night, or go to a different bar or something.
And if there's a DJ, they'll just know they can dance regardless.
Exactly.
Or whatever it is, you
there's
know what I
gonna
mean?
be music of some sort.
So it's one of those things. Some people aren't so interested in like hearing local artists or touring artists even in their city or whatever it might be. A lot of people are just going out and they want to hear all the songs they hear on the radio or whatever, you know what I mean, when they're partying. So I guess I guess I kind of understand that part of it, but you know, there are some venues and some like plenty of paid gig opportunities still around, so that's cool. Like I did a gig recently at Founders Hall. They reached out to me and I did a little set there, which was really cool. And that was an interesting spot too because it's like on a second floor kind of thing, like a balcony kind of.
Interesting.
And you perform, and the people are like, there's like benches and stuff underneath, kind of thing. It was pretty cool. I was surprised.
Was it outside?
No, it's inside. It's inside their market.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's really cool because like you kind of get a sight of the whole building. So you see people walking in, and you see people eating, and some people are like paying attention and taking photos and stuff. So it was kind of cool. I was really nervous at first when I did it. It was surprising because like I get nerves sometimes when we do sets. I don't know if you get a lot of nerves.
I do sometimes too, yeah.
I was like super nervous at first for the first 15 minutes, and then
Really?
once,
Okay,
and usually it's not that long. Like usually for me it's like maybe a song, song and a half, and then I'm fine usually. But yeah, that one I was like surprised just because it was this big platform. I felt like it was the first time I was like really like on, like, you know what I mean, like really like on. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
I'd be nervous too. Yeah, that'd be kind of because like. I get nervous, I feel like, every time, but it's only a little bit, like, and that's usually while I'll have, like, one drink or something, maybe, but, like, I don't know, I used to get really, really nervous, and that's, like, I wouldn't even go out to, open mics and stuff, and I've told people this, and I think it's not, like, a recommended thing to do, but a few times I've done this, but the first time I did it, it was because, like, to get over my social anxiety, I took acid and performed at Baba's, and in my head, my thinking was, if I can do this while I'm tripping, then I have no excuses to not do it. So
well, that's fair enough. I guess. Yeah, fair enough.
So,
I can't argue with that logic. I suppose.
So like, it was pretty crazy, but like it worked, and like now I'm like,
that's pretty funny.
If I'm not gonna go, I don't get as fucking hard on myself. Usually, I don't go because I'm busy or something. For now, and now I'm like, okay, well,
I found I did open mic last week for the first time in quite a while, and I mean, I was more nervous at that than I was at your show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay, it was like, and I think there might be like, I think at a hip hop show there's a bit more of like a peer mentality maybe.
True,
so there's like a little bit like, oh, if I mess up, they're gonna understand because they do it too sometimes or whatever. You know what I mean, or something like that.
To see you, like at a hip hop show, or like they're there for the rap, like instead of like open mic, you get a different crowd like every time.
And they want different types of music, and they're like, they might not even be into hip hop at all. They might be hip hop even. I don't know. It was a bit weird because like I felt like it was a bit of like. It's not that there was no energy in the room, because there totally was. Like, there was performers performing and stuff, too. But it wasn't the same as a hip-hop show where the energy of the last set usually carries over a bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they're kind of still expecting the same-ish energy. Even, you know what I mean? Instead, it was like, I think right before me, there was like maybe an acoustic guitar guy or something. So it was a bit of an odd, like, changeover.
Yeah.
But it was still cool. And, like, you know, I think, like, Chasing Planes isn't exactly the most out there song. It's kind of poppy anyway, so most people are like, whatever, I can deal with this, you know what I mean? It's not like I'd get booed, I don't think, unless, you know,
no, you wouldn't. And that Bob was like, they're not, they're very accepting there, even if like,
Bubba's is my favorite stage on BDI, I think. It's one of them for sure.
So far that I've played on, I played I played the trail side there, like, and just one song with Carrie, because he opened for Cavi or whatever.
Just recently.
So like I did Addicted with him, and that was cool. I don't really even. I went to Trailside to see my buddy Dan play, because like Dan McFadden, he got nominated for DCMA and stuff. Like two of them. He's like a folk guy that I went to school with at Acadia. We lived in the same res and everything too, and like have like. Sometimes, like, there's a place called, like, the Library Pub he used to play at a lot in Wolfville, and I'd go, like, I'd be there, and then he'd be like, come over here, and then I'd freestyle and stuff while he's doing acoustic stuff.
That's pretty cool.
And then, like, he'd go back into the song and everything.
That's pretty cool.
But, but anyways, I went to go see him, and Emily McCollum was playing, because she's unreal, and I'm getting her to open, or not open, but, like, play at this art expo.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, so you're promoting that. Yeah.
If you can come out to that, that'd be awesome.
I wasn't sure if I would be like the right kind of artist to have to it, so that's the only reason I did.
Well, that's why I didn't get any rappers, but if I mean, if you want to come out and just like attend it or whatever.
Absolutely, I will. Yeah, for sure.
It's only $3 to get in, and all the proceeds go to the artists, like the musicians.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll be there for sure. I did see you posting about it, and I was even thinking like, should I apply for that? But I was like, maybe I shouldn't.
I just didn't get it. Yeah, that's why I didn't reach out to any rappers, just because like. I was like, okay, I want to get like a chill vibe for this. It's just not the setting, I don't think. At least for the first one, maybe. I just kind of wanted to be a bit like more neutral with it. I have Elsie playing cello, and then Emily McClellan, Weeza, and Devil's Punch Bowl.
Very cool. Right on. Very cool. That's awesome.
So that's gonna be dope. And there's a lot of things sold. But yeah, I went there, and I didn't really like trails. Like, I like the stage is cool, but I didn't really like Trailside. Like, I had terrible service. Like, I was sitting there. No server went up to me once. Like, I was there by myself, but there was other people there by themselves, and they fucking went up to them and whatnot. And I was sitting there like right before the show, like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I went up and got a beer, and I was tripping too. Actually, I was on mushrooms just a little bit. So I was kind of like awkward.
You're vibing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but I was vibing, but I was kind of like, okay, I don't know, like, but I went up and got a beer, and like my payment, like the thing screwed up, so I had to do it again. But like the foam, like I didn't notice till I got back, but it was only like there was a quarter of fucking foam. Like I took a drink and then I was like, oh fuck. And I normally I would have went back and complained, but I was too
like,
messed up, and I was like,
I feel that.
and I already drank, and like I wouldn't have noticed if the thing didn't screw up. Also in my head, I was like, okay, well I probably would have, but like the foam would have still been there. But anyways, that annoyed me. And then I don't like their bathrooms because the urinals are like metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
So
yeah,
like you go
really
there
loud.
and you just hear people pissing the whole time. I was like, this is fucking
That's
weird.
pretty weird. Yeah,
like,
it's like hollow aluminum.
I was
It's
like,
really...
whoever fucking designed this, like the civil engineer who made the fucking building was not thinking right.
Yeah, no joke.
But the stage is cool. The lights are
Yeah.
the lighting that they have there, like in the background, is really cool.
Yeah,
and I would love to play there, like again, but it's not really my vibe, like to go there anymore.
Yeah, I feel
Chill.
like it's a bit of an odd spot because it's like behind the Dali Cafe too. You have to like follow this weird route. Like I feel like if it was like right accessible to the street, even if they had a back entrance or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think it'd be a lot better for that. I do like that venue for I don't mind its stage. It is a little like I don't like steps. There's a couple steps. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm always just because I'm always worried I'll fall off. Dead serious. It's not on them. It's on me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I did like the sound in there, and it's funny you mentioned the beer thing. I had a party just like a week ago, and a buddy of mine was here, and he was talking about the Cancer Bats show there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was literally the same thing he said to me.
Same thing.
He said the same thing. He said he had to go and show them how to pour a beer or something. He was so complaining about it basically. I was like, so when you said that, I was like, no way, that's hilarious.
Who knows if it was the same bartender? I don't know, but like, yeah, fucking, it was bullshit.
Trailside, fix your beer taps or whatever, bro.
But Cancer Bats, man, yeah, they're sick. I wanted to go. Well, I've already seen them live before, so I didn't. That's why, actually, both bands, Diner Drugs and Cancer Bats, I saw I didn't see the third band, but like they played at what the fuck's it called, in Marquee Ballroom in Halifax, and that was like in 2019, I think. Me and my buddy went, but like their shows are crazy, and like my foot's okay, but if it got stepped on, I'd be fucked.
Yeah, you don't
like,
want to risk that. Yeah, for sure.
So I was just like, nah, I'll go next time. But they're wicked. Like they put on a great show.
Hardcore and metal shows have such a unique energy. It's like such a volatile, but like not dangerous. You know what I mean? Like if that makes sense.
Or
it's like
helping each other. Like if someone falls, they'll pick you back up. And like, like my buddy was like, oh, I wouldn't want. I don't know. He was like. Like trying to be macho. He's like, I wouldn't let anyone push me around, blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude, like the thing is, like that's like the culture, like pushing people around. It's not like they're trying to. Some people are being dicks and trying to fucking hurt people, but most of the time it's like I remember at that Cancer Bat show, I was getting pushed around, and it was like getting pushed from people. Actually, no, this was at Protest, the Hero show. Same venue though. And there was like a triangle of people, and I was getting pushed around from each one, but it was super fun.
Like bouncing,
I felt like I was on like a carnival ride. It was like woo woo woo, like, and then I was like, like there was this huge fucking guy, and he was like scary looking. He'd come up to you and be like, yeah, and fucking like push you and like get ready, like. But he was also like, if you fell, he'd be like, oh no, and pick you up and like. But yeah, that show also, the Cancer Bats one, there was a dude, my buddy, he was messed up on like coke and molly, like super messed up, and there were people crowd surfing and stuff, and I was like, hey man, what's going on? And I like shook his hand, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, we're shaking hands, and then a dude falls right on top of him, like literally, and I'm like holding on, like trying to get him up, and he's like, whoa, and he didn't even really know what happened. I don't think he was so like dazed. I was like, oh,
the person just lands on him randomly.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
And I had a buddy who likes to crowd surf too. I've never done it, but like,
I've never crowd surfed. Someday maybe someday when my shows get really late.
If I would do it like if I was the performer, jump in the crowd maybe. But like,
that was a bit too small for it.
At a show, I've heard some things like. Can't really control it because you'll fall. Some people have told me like they'll fall and then get stuck between people, kind of thing, or like something. But
you don't want to like. Well, you can.
I've been at some crazy shows like in Montreal. They had a circle pit at August Burns Red, and it was the whole floor.
Oof, that's crazy.
It was
That's
scary.
pretty wild,
It was fun though.
Yeah, it's intense. That's for sure.
It was fun.
That's hardcore's a cool style of music in general. I've always liked like metal, but I've never gone too into the really hardcore myself, like as a personal preference listening thing.
Yeah.
I've always been big on like more melodic metal and melodic core and stuff like that. But I've got a lot of friends that love hardcore, and I've go to a lot of not anymore so much, but I used to go to a lot of the hardcore shows.
Cool.
We used to go to Hunters all the time for metal shows. They don't really put them on the way they used to.
Nice.
Hunters used to be the metal spot.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really weird, but I don't know why they don't anymore.
Yeah, really.
Or at least not as often. But yeah, they had a different setup for their building then too, so maybe that's part of it. They have more of like a stage kind of different design. This was quite a while ago, like 10 years ago.
I want to see Baited. Like
Baited, yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
They're very good. If I remember correctly, Baited, we did a show with them. We did the hip hop versus punk crossover show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was last September.
That was before Chris was the singer, though, was it? Or
I'm not sure. When did he switch? Yeah, I think it was September we played.
I think he was telling me the guitar player or something used to sing or something.
Okay.
Or someone, they had a different singer, and then he's their singer now.
Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah,
Screamer, whatever.
they were the guys that we like. Yeah, it was like 3 punk bands or metal bands and 3 hip hop artists or rappers and stuff. So it was like Adjust the Facts and Spivvy and myself.
Nice. I like Adjust the Facts. Like I heard them for the first time like a month or two ago. Like I always heard of them, but I never saw them live. I actually thought it was one person. And then I saw them and I was like, oh, cool. These guys are dope.
Yeah,
like,
they're really good. Yeah. Shout out to Adjust the Facts and Alley Cat too. Alley Cat's awesome.
Yeah,
Spins
he's
fun
awesome.
And stuff. I'm surprised you'd only just like seen them that recently.
Yeah,
considering
like
like you guys have both been in the scene kind of like periphery to each other for quite a while.
Yeah.
Cool.
We just never really.
Never just like now that I think about it, like a lot of times you guys aren't on the same shows and stuff.
That's
so
the thing.
Sense.
Yeah,
Just,
we
like,
were
timing
never
and
on the
stuff.
same show, but I always heard of them.
Yeah, I don't want to leak anything or make any announcements that are too early, but I heard they're working on a new album, so they're probably gonna have something new coming pretty soon.
Yeah,
I'd imagine by.
I would like to work with them, like on a song.
I'm such a terrible person. They sent me a verse. Shout out to them because they sent me a verse ages ago when I first started,
Really?
and I never got back to that track. I actually have stuff written for it. And then I don't remember why. There was some reason. Maybe there was like another verse and I wanted somebody else in it, or there was some reason I didn't finish it.
Okay.
And every time I see them, I'm like, I know. Like, they don't say anything. They never roast me much, but I deserve to be roasted for it because it's one of those things. I'm like, I'll get to it eventually, of course.
I've been there. Yeah, like there's people like I'll make music with it happens a lot with people that aren't from the island. Like if I'm making music with people online or whatever, they'll be like, oh yeah, I have an open verse. They'll send me the song or whatever. Especially my buddy from New Zealand. Like I do it to him a lot and I hate it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it'd be like 3 or 4, it'd be like a month later and I'll be like, yeah man, like I'm really sorry, I completely forgot. And then I'll be like, I'll get to that soon, and then I'll forget again.
Yeah, it's funny, right? I'm big on like, you have to be in the right headspace or right mood or whatever it is. I was chopping it up with KM just the other day and he gave me a little beat pack of like some songs that we were checking out beats and stuff.
Okay.
And I like kind of listed some that I liked. And he put them in a little USB for me, and I was listening last night. And I wrote one out of the 4 really worked for me last night.
Okay,
so I wrote like a whole thing. It was like some really fun writing. I don't know if people will find it a little repetitive, because that was like when I was writing it, I was like, that's the only risk of this song, is people might find it repetitive. But I really like the subject matter of it and stuff. And I think it'll be really good.
Well, that's a vibe. Like it depends. Like that's a vibe too. Like repetitive stuff. Like it just depends on the person.
And the subject, as long as the subject matter is there and stuff. Like I find the repetition, at least in this case, it was the same like 2 words at the end, and everything before that was slightly different. So it's kind of repeating the same end phrase, but the first half it was different each time.
Cool.
So it's kind of like that. But I'm really excited for it though. I think he'll really like it too. I'm gonna see if he maybe wants to do a verse on it too. But we'll have to get you into the SID studio. We'll chop up something sometime real soon.
Right,
3 of us or something. Because
I was there last night with this dude. I met him like at an open mic a long time ago. Elsie introduced me to him, but it's his name is Alex, but his thing on Instagram is, for example, John Smith.
Oh, okay.
He's like he makes like, he has a drum pad and he just makes shit on the fly. He's like a wizard, dude. Like I don't know, he was fucking going crazy, and we were just like, me and Carrie were just fucking freestyling and shit over. We didn't end up recording anything, but like it was kind of cool. I think we're gonna. Well, we were just kind of feeling it out, and he was saying like he'd want us to like maybe like pick a beat and then or like, because he does it differently every time, but he has like the sounds, like I guess, or whatever in each like song. So he said pick like a beat that you like, and then we'll write over it, and then we're gonna make a video kind of
cool.
Thing. He makes videos of him just like doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So like, and I was talking to him about doing it. a bit, and then Carrie's just like, oh yeah, he's coming over. So I was like, oh, cool.
Does he sell beats online and stuff too?
I think so, maybe. I'm not sure, but like, yeah.
That's great content for producers though, having them tap out their beats and stuff, and have a little video camera on it or whatever.
He's great, yeah. He's really, and like, he's just really good at it. I don't really think he doesn't really make beats any other way. I don't think.
Oh, okay,
like, He likes to do it live.
Yeah, some people are like that, right? It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
There's some people that are like that. There's the the producers like myself who kind of like prefer to do it in like their DAW
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever,
what I
like
like
do it
to
with a
do.
keyboard or whatever. But
Yeah.
some people are like, I need to have the real physical kind of
Yeah.
feel to it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and-
fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's super fun doing that. For me, I want to get better at I have a beat pad, a little Elisa's. There's an Akai. I have a couple. Anyways, the one that I've been practicing with, I want to get really good with it so I can do it live during DJ sets. So I can have a dance song playing and tap an extra beat over top of it and like layer it,
Right,
stuff like
yeah.
that, and like really add, like make the beat bigger kind of thing and stuff like that or whatever.
That
So
would be
I
sick.
thought that'd be fun. Yeah.
Oh, you know what's cool? Well, I moved into a new place, and actually the dude, he just moved out, but the dude that was living there was a producer and singer and rapper and stuff, and like everything pretty
Yeah.
much. He's from Jamaica, and we made like 4 songs together, like in the 2 weeks like he was there, and then he left. And the new person that moved in, he's a fucking EDM producer. Like he's
That's
been doing it
crazy.
for like 30 years or something.
Whoa.
He's like 50. Small world also. When I lived in Nova Scotia in the fall there and / winter, just recently I was going to Wolfville a lot again just to do open mics, and I met this dude's fucking daughter.
No way. So you knew like you had like a connection already. So
Yeah,
that's so
like
weird,
you
right?
mentioned, like I mentioned to Katie or something, and then his wife or something was like, oh yeah, like his daughter goes there, and then said her name, and I was like, I met her before.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what a
That's-
small
yeah,
world.
Gotta love it. That's cool.
Yeah, and he's wicked. Like I was just making a beat, and he'd just tell me like these little things, and it just make it like 10 times better.
That's pretty cool.
Like, yeah.
Yo, you gotta link me up with this guy. But I want to make an EDM record, like an EP or something,
Yeah,
like 3
fuck
tracks or
yeah.
something that I've been dying for because I do a lot of DJing on the side.
Yeah.
For me, like since I started doing hip hop, I really fell in love with EDM. Oddly enough, I love hip hop. Like it's not like I don't like
Yeah.
rapping and stuff.
I
but
love EDM.
Yeah, big part of my like listening habits is electronic dance, and I've always been like a melodic guy too, and I can sing over some of that stuff. And so
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. Some of my favorite music's like deep house melodic stuff.
That's.
really like
I was
chill
just gonna
beats and
say
stuff,
his things. His like specialty is house and
Cool.
and trance and
That's very
shit,
cool,
like
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. I guess he said, but like EDM, like he's like all that electronic shit he's into, I guess.
Cool. Yeah.
But I think he's usually free on the weekends, kind of thing. So if you want to come by sometime, yeah, we'll
Yeah, cool. Pick
have
his
to-
brain.
Yeah, he's wicked. Yeah, he's really chill.
Dope. Yeah. Because it's cool. Like, obviously, there's like so many different types of producers, right? And there's like some that are just like, oh, I just make boom baps or whatever, and some that, and then not that there's, like, I don't mean that like a bad thing. Like, if you're
That's
just good
their
at that and that's
style.
your thing, and that's what you
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know what I mean. And there's, but like, producing's a whole rabbit hole, right? Like, you could spend months and months learning all this shit, and then like, oh, I'm just gonna switch genres, and then a whole bunch of shit you need to learn is new.
Exactly,
You need a whole bunch of new plugins or a whole new setup. It's wild to me. Like I love producing, but I also am like kind of slightly weary of it because of that. Like I'm always worried I'll get too deep into the producer rabbit hole and forget how to like do my artistry stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'll get too busy into like, oh, is this sidechain? How's this compressed? Blah blah blah. Like, and then I'm suddenly breaking things down even more than I already do when I listen to music.
Yeah.
And I'm like worried about that, but it is what it is.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You produce a lot of your own stuff.
Now I do, yeah, mainly because like I got tired of fucking buying beats and
yeah,
shit,
for sure.
and like I still do here and there, but like I got in early on like lots of these situations where like you buy a lease or something and then like you still can't put it on Spotify or
Oh,
like some
really?
bullshit
That sucks.
happens,
Yeah, that sucks,
and that's
yeah.
happened to me a few times, and I'm like. It says in the contract you can, but then they have something set up so like you have to buy it exclusively or some shit. And I just got pissed after that happened more than once.
Yeah.
And my buddy, when I started, like, he's like, cause I play bass and piano and stuff. He's like, why don't you just make your own beats? And I was just too like worried about it because like there's so much to learn, right?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like I was like, oh, I'd rather just rap and
Yeah.
write because I already know how to do that. But now I actually really like it, and it's one of my like favorite things because it's like. I don't know, it's just unique, and I like I try to go with the psychedelic trap kind of shit, so
Yeah,
that's like, I don't know, but I like to expand into everything, it's just fun, like,
It is a very creative, like uniquely creative process,
Yeah.
making beats and stuff like that through it, especially through a DAW. Like it's one thing to tap it out, that's almost more musicianship
Yeah.
at that point. Producing it's almost like, to me, it reminds me of like a puzzle game or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
it
it's like,
is.
once you have an idea roughly for what you want and stuff, it's about like, oh, how do I get the sound to sound exactly how I want it to. And there's like it's almost a game involved in it or something.
Yeah.
It's like I said, putting together a puzzle or something, like a jigsaw.
I actually used to. There's this game. Growing up, it was called Punk-O-Matic.
Punk-O-Matic, okay.
And it'd be like three like a bass guitar, a guitar, and a drum, and like they'd all have these different loops or like different one hits and whatever, and you'd make a song.
Oh,
basically.
okay, cool.
And it's kind of like a very simple, like super simple DAW, but it's like. And then there'd be other free random ones that I would go on and just make beats like when I was really young. They weren't like great or anything, but I've been doing it probably since I was like 10 or 11. Like
in
when
various
I think
forms
about
and
it,
stuff. That's pretty
like
crazy.
or like 9, like but it's just like didn't really take it too seriously. I downloaded Ableton in high school, like a pirated one, but then it just overwhelmed me and I was like, fuck this, and I deleted it like right away.
They can be pretty overwhelming.
Yeah,
for sure.
but now like I'm thinking back and I'm like, oh, I kind of always like really like that shit. It just didn't really dive into it until like recently.
And you didn't maybe realize like how much of a passion it was back then.
Yeah,
you just looked at it as something you did as a kid for fun or whatever. Maybe
exactly.
You don't realize. Yeah, it was like that with writing for me. Like I used to, when I was bored in school in junior high, I would write short stories, like just stupid stuff with my friends and stuff, like silly stories, right? And eventually, as like I matured a bit more too, and life got maybe a bit more serious in ways, it became like unintentionally a coping thing, and I was writing a lot more darker stories and a lot more personal stuff. And then eventually, so it was like almost like an outlet, and I never realized it until like 6 years ago, when I'm like considering music and stuff, and I went, wait a minute, like I've been writing poetry in various forms, essentially lyricism for years and years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. Like before I even got close to touching a microphone, I was already doing unintentionally something very similar, right?
Cool. Yeah,
so,
just like a different like outlet of it, but it's like and it's cool. Like I was saying that yesterday, like to Carrie or something. I was like, yeah, it's like so cool how like rap like started from poetry and just like beats pretty much, and then got combined, and then because we were talking about like how. Or I was like saying like how rap is so new and stuff, and it's like I find like all these like old heads and stuff or whatever you want to call it, like or like, oh my god, it has to be like this or it has to be like it used to be, but it's like every genre has evolved into something else and has had influences from other genres be put into it. Like it's just natural for music. Like that's how rock music like became, how any genre I think became. So it's like I don't know, I was just like, I don't get, like I get it, but I also like, I find people just,
a lot of people
don't
are stuck
realize
in,
that.
a lot of people are stuck in like, oh, things always used to be better. Like that's a nostalgia thing or whatever. There's so much good music coming out these days. I hate when people say like, oh, music was better back then, whatever. And music's always been good, you know what I mean?
And it's fine if you don't like some of the new stuff and stuff. I just don't, I used to rip on a lot of like shit, now I don't anymore because like a lot of the bands and shit that I've ripped on in my life, I grew to be some of my favorite bands later.
Go figure, right?
Kind of thing. So I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why did I used to rip on them? And now I just don't at all. Like because, like even like Playboy Cardi, I used to hate. Lil Peep, friggin' Blink-182 is one of my favorite bands, and I hated them.
You like them?
Misfits too. Like all these bands, and I was just like, now I just don't hate on any. Like I'll be like, I don't like that, but then. I might like it in 2 years or something. Who knows?
For me, a big part of it too is like it's hard for me to hate on an artist when I realize how much like comes out of like how much personal expression comes out of my music. Than to hate on somebody else's. I start thinking like, well, I don't really know much about their life, so to assume like what kind of music they should be making is kind of silly in a way, right? Because it's like, you know what I mean? Like they've got different influences of their own, and different story of their own, and different expressions of their own, and different repressed things and things they want to talk about or don't want to talk about, or whatever it might be. So it's like it's hard for me to like the more that I do music to hate on other people's music for sure. I used to hate dance music. That's the funny thing. Like I was saying earlier about how I love EDM now. When back in the day, I used to think dance music was stupid and simple. But then it was like I was at a club one time or something, and like maybe I was partying with friends or whatever it was, and it like clicked in my brain that like dance music is simple, so everybody can dance to it even if they don't know it. And then it was like she flipped the whole perspective I had on dance music, and I was like, oh, I see. Like accessibility in music, sometimes people look down on, but it's also actually a really good thing too, because people that can just in the moment experience it can just have a good time instead of having to like search through the layers of the meaning of the song and all this stuff. There's something to that, peeling back the onion too. But at other times, it's like good just to have real simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, keep it easy for people and stuff.
I think, Carrie said this last night. He was like, Rick Rubin like says stuff like that. It's like fucking, or no, it wasn't him that said that. It was Ben actually. It was the other day. I think you met Ben.
Yep, yeah, I know Ben.
Yeah, he was like, Rick Rubin like says like, you know, sometimes you just gotta fucking keep it simple, like kind of thing, and just like not overthink it too much and just like feel it out, kind of like. Or I don't know if he said it exactly like that, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, but
that
it's
was
true,
like, and something I realized like with the EDM and like those kind of things and whatnot, like yeah, they can be like super simple, but then if you really like get into it, for them to make those like feelings, like it's actually really hard.
Yeah,
Like, kind
yeah,
of like
true. That's right.
I find like I've been saying this, like I want to be like EDM or like even like dubstep or something producer. Eventually, but that's like the next level in my opinion, kind of thing.
For sure. I think the lyrics, one thing I've noticed about EDM lyrics is they're almost like super distilled. And what I mean by that is like when you have hip hop, there's a lot of lyrics that you know, there tends to be more lyrics.
Yeah.
And sometimes the message gets a little muddled.
True.
Whereas when I listen to EDM, at least a lot of ones I listen to, it's like they get rid of every single extra word and they're saying the most minimalist thing, but they're getting the message across super cleanly.
Yeah.
And I think there's really something to that too. Like, and I've tried to learn from that. Although there's obviously a balance. Obviously, like with hip hop, you're kind of, it's a bit more fun, it's a bit more off the cuff. Obviously, more lyrics, like I said, so it's harder to get like a really distilled message. But there's something to that, like that really, like simplicity is the key, really. But it's also very complex to try and take like, what is it you're really trying to say in this song? What is the message? And then just like, how do we say that in as few words as possible? I actually worked with a producer once. Shout out to Pitsy. I worked with him on this song called The Mountain at the beginning of, was it the beginning of last year? The end of the year before that? Anyways. And he did this thing to me where we were recording in the studio, and I think he didn't quite understand what I was trying to get at with the song, because it's really artsy. A little bit too artsy. And he kind of was like, hey, yo, real quick. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, and I was still like, literally the booth was like right here. I was standing right beside the booth. And he goes like, so like, tell me like the message of this song. Like, what's the key thing in this song you're trying to get across? And I was like, oh, it's like dedicate, hard work, and like, you know, you'll get there, whatever, you keep pushing, something like that line, right? And he goes, oh, okay, cool. And he goes, click. And I'm like, what was that? And he was like, I was recording that. And so he took that and he put it into the intro of the song. And then the intro of the song is like this 5-second clip of me like dedicate, do the work or whatever, you know what I mean? And like, and he suddenly, everybody who doesn't understand the song, just because of that 1-2 second little thing, they're like, oh, I get it now. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, and on the spot, he knew like just to go like, this is a little bit like maybe too deep, so how do I just like make it kind of clear for people?
Yeah,
real
like
quick.
right off
you know
the
what I mean?
right off the
exactly.
top,
So I always thought that was pretty interesting and kind of ingenious of him, because
that's cool.
And obviously, like some people might go like, oh, that's kind of tricky. He like tricked you or whatever, I guess, but like in a good way. So it's okay. You know what I mean? Like if I felt like if I felt exploited by it, it would be a different thing.
If you were like, well, I don't want that, then like you could just be.
I could just remove it if I wanted or whatever. But it was like it was a good idea at the time, and it convinced me. Like I went like right at the moment, I went like, oh, there's something to that. Like I didn't really have to overthink it. He just kind of in the moment asked me off the cuff, and I answered off the cuff because I thought it was just like, hey, real quick. And I was like, okay, here you go. You know what I mean? So but the fact that like he managed to get essentially the elevator pitch out of me like that, it's a good thing, because obviously it means I also knew the message of the song, but also like everybody else does now too who listens to it. It's interesting,
awesome.
Right?
So
I kind of snuck you with the podcasting thing too.
No worries. I love the studio like vibe. It's like, because I find like or just like making music with a few people or whatever, because I find you can bounce like if you have that, like I don't know, most people I've been working with lately are pretty good with this. Like I'm never like, but bouncing off of people and not really taking it like too personally kind of thing, and being like, okay, well, if someone's like, oh, well, you should say something this, or maybe don't say that, or like whatever. Like I always like to take like the criticism from anyone, either good or bad, and just try and like see, because like you don't always know what people are gonna want to like. You're like, you know what you want it to sound like and all this stuff, but there might be something that like someone else hears, and it's like the thing that fucking makes the
makes
song.
it better or whatever. Exactly.
So like, and I've been there like too, like other buddies recording, and I'm like, oh yeah, to maybe say this one line like this, and then they're like, oh fuck yeah, and same like vice versa. It's great, and I especially working with like an engineer, like I've worked with like an actual like recording engineer a few times and stuff, and like that's like, I love that like direction.
What are you like working on for your next? I know you just dropped an album, but you're the type of dude who always is fucking like every time I see you, you've got something new. So do you have something planned already next? Or?
Oh my god, man! Summer, I actually do have a lot planned for the summer. Me and Ben actually, I don't know if we're gonna release it over the summer actually, just because he wants to release his like. He wants to have his first song released to be like his own song, like just solo, and then also be like really like well done or something. Like it is well done. He has it all wrote, but he's trying to find the right beat now because he recorded it at my place. But anyways, we for like 2 months there, like he'd come over and have his setup at my place or whatever, and we recorded like probably 6 or 7 or even more than that, but like 6 or 7 really good ones, I would say. So that might come. I don't think it's gonna come out in the summer, but it might. We might drop a few songs. And then there's this other EP that I recorded in like a night at my buddy's.
Cool.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 songs I think, and my buddy Zila Chase. You met
Yeah,
him.
I know. Yeah, he's
in
awesome.
Halifax.
He's awesome. Yeah.
I went to his place in Halifax like a month before that show, or like 2 months before that show, and just we recorded the whole thing there. So he's I think releasing that June 1st or like middle of June or something.
Yeah.
So it'll be like his like on his Spotify like mainly. So like, but there's that, and then this month coming or in June I guess, that guy I was saying that was my roommate for like 2 weeks. We're gonna start dropping some songs. Like we have like 3 or 4 songs too. Gonna drop a couple of those, and then personally, like not collabed with anyone. I am going to. I have an EP. It's I guess I'll just announce it now because it's called Interdimensional.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
like I have these 2 EPs planned, and this one I don't know when exactly. It's gonna be in the summer, and it's like. So I have like 2 different sides I find to my sound. Like obviously I like to be versatile and go all over the place sometimes, but 2 specific ones, and I think that's psychedelic, and then like okay, this all with trap though, like under the trap.
Yeah, under the trap. Yeah, no, I got you.
Because like that's definitely what I'm leaning towards, but like psychedelic trap, I guess, and then like emo.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like alternative.
Yeah.
So I haven't the album or the EP Interdimensional, and then the other one I'm going to release in October, I think, Demons Intertwined.
Cool.
So it's like IDDI.
Oh, I see. Okay,
like,
cool.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's kind of cool.
And so like, and I think interdimensional just sounds like it's like your demons are intertwined with the dimension. I don't know. They're just going to kind of go together.
Kind of linked or whatever. Yeah, that's cool.
But be both my sounds. So that's the interdimensional one is basically done, except for that Face is Numb song or whatever. That's going to be on there.
Yeah.
And that's the last one I gotta do, and
That's
then,
cool.
and then, I guess this is technically still the summer, but like I have that a show. Actually, do you want to play at this one too?
If I'm available, yeah.
If you're
What's
available,
yeah,
it's,
what's the date? Yeah.
September 2nd.
I should be. I think. Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, because I'm still like I haven't really asked
Yeah.
many people yet, but Ben is gonna play, and then you now,
Dope. I
maybe
appreciate
Tobias
it.
if he wants to
That'd be
again,
cool, yeah.
and then Carrie, and then I think Loki too, because he was supposed to play at the other one.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I got the Newfoundland guys, because he dropped out.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
another person dropped out. So.
Got you, yeah.
But I'm good. That one's gonna be mainly like the deluxe edition of
Cool.
Spitting Out Chaos.
That's cool. Nice.
There's only like
a couple extra songs.
3 or 4 songs. There's a song. It's still not recorded yet, but she said she has the verse. But with Lavender's gonna remix
Awesome.
"Hiding from You,"
Right, nice.
and then I have another song with SNK, and then.
That's it. Some big piece.
And then I think just 2 songs that were supposed to be originally on the thing, but I wanted them to like be re-recorded because like we recorded them very early on, and Carrie got a new mic, new setup, all these things, and I just felt like there were some parts that I could have done better and that could sound better.
Yeah, inconsistencies maybe too. When
Yeah.
you switch mics, it always gets weird.
And there's just 2, and these 2 songs, like this one specifically is called "Before the Party," and I wrote it in like 2019 or something, and been playing it since then, and like had different recordings of it each time, and I want it to be like really good. It tells a story about like, because I used to party a lot in high school, and all my friends were like one of my best friends, he was like the party guy, like he'd host all the parties like in my area, so like huge ones. So it's pretty much just talking about like that lifestyle before the party. I think you might have heard it. I played it at the show actually. It's like I played both those songs at the show because they were like originally in the thing. It's like this is before the party in the back of the Acura, lean speed of Molly. What the fuck are you asking for? Hennessy is in my cup. I tip that shit back a bit. To you it's ironic, but I'm seeing shit more accurate.
Right, I do think I remember you playing that. Yeah, that's dope.
And then Opiated is the other one. But yeah, that's pretty much like I have a lot. on the go for releases.
You
I guess.
always have a lot on the go. Bro. I'm
Yeah.
always impressed. Like almost every time that your name comes up, I'm always like, bro, that guy's work rate is crazy because your name comes up a lot because you're like doing something with this guy, doing something with Tam, doing something with them, you know what I mean? It's cool, man.
Most of the stuff, so I appreciate most of the stuff is old, like that Days of Dust album was all old shit except for Carrie's verse. And that's like, because I was gonna quit in 2020 and stuff. Like I didn't. I just
more feeling or something.
Yeah.
Or was it pandemic thing or was it like?
I think that, and I graduated, and I was like, there was a lot of stuff going down. I kind of went like deep into like drugs and stuff, and just not really like caring about anything.
You're not motivated for it.
And like COVID, like I went from playing shows like every week pretty much in Nova Scotia to like nothing pretty much. So I was just like not motivated.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But and the music just wasn't amazing. I didn't think there were some really good songs, but like I just wasn't trying as hard. But like now I'm like, okay, I want to get all the songs out there that are really good, because I had an album in 2020 that also like fell through. It had Numb and like all these songs that were pretty much on Days of Dust and that Camp the Hay EP. But like that was like, I was working with a producer and he just fucking fell off the face of the earth. He's fine and shit. Like I found out he's not dead or anything, but he literally just like, he's like, yeah, I'll help you market it, do all this stuff and everything, and then he just like ghosted me and it was done. Like, and I worked with him for like 2 years too, so it was weird.
That really sucks.
But I decided I want to get all that shit out there and then new stuff. So all the stuff now, I think, basically all of it, it's all new.
Nice.
Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna, except I'm gonna re-release like Love You Anyway and To My Grave and stuff, because they got taken down because I used TuneCore and then switched to distro. So
you prefer distro over TuneCore?
Yeah.
I've been considering switching the other way, so if you got a reason to not, please tell me.
Well, TuneCore is way more expensive.
Is it? Oh, I thought distro was.
You have to pay for every single release.
Right.
At TuneCore. So it's like $11.99 or something for every single that you drop.
Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, for you that makes way more sense to do distro because you're releasing a lot more than a lot of people.
Yeah, so like I pay $11.99 or whatever for the whole, or however much it is for the whole year.
Right.
And then you can release an album, you can release singles.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah. And
no, that makes sense.
But the other one, it's like, and then it's like $50 for an album.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Yeah. That's
I just, For me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But like I understand why, like, I don't know. I like DistroKid though.
No, I like DistroKid too. I've just been wondering, like, sort of like lately, because I've got a bunch of new songs I'm looking forward to releasing soon, and I was like, should I consider switching? Is there any benefit to switching other than like maybe like basically you pretty much summed it up though. It's like if you're releasing a lot, definitely DistroKid makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So maybe it's easiest to stay with DistroKid, so I'll probably do that. But I was looking into TuneCore a bit. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's really like any like difference in like their services aside from like that like kind of thing. I don't know, I just find distro better just because of that. But like and that girl actually that I was saying, that marketing girl, she's sponsored by them.
Oh really?
Actually
That's
she
cool.
does like ads and shit for DistroKid.
That's pretty cool.
But like they're a pretty cool company, I think, and just I don't know,
I've always had great experiences with them. Like their customer service has been good, stuff like that. And they're relatively easy to understand, like what what you're getting, what you're paying for. They've got little options for some add-ons if you want those. It's pretty much pretty like good. The only thing I don't like is like if you don't pay them yearly, your music can get taken down. I don't know.
Oh really?
And this is just like
that's TuneCore too, though.
Yeah, I think they're probably all like that. Honestly, to me, I think like once you put it up there, it should stay up there. Like that's, you know what I mean. I always thought that was kind of strange. But you can always put it on YouTube for free and stuff anyway. So I guess if that's a big worry, like it's
Yeah. I get that, but TuneCore is the same thing, and you have to pay that same one-time payment every time. That's another thing. It was like, I'd have like 4 or 5 signals or whatever, and they'd all come out around the same time, and then it's like I'd be broke or whatever, then I'd be like, well, fuck, like I'd rather just pay one time, and I know that it's like
you can schedule
when it's coming up, I can schedule it, and be like, okay, I'll save this for whatever.
Yeah, because when you got 4 or 5 releases, you kind of want to have some money in your pocket. It's like it helps definitely a bit to be able to spend some money here and there. Like, I just got these new songs. I kind of want to promote them a bit or whatever.
I'd rather spend it on that or or
the next thing, or whatever it might be, instead of or setting up the show or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
instead of fucking paying for it just to be on Spotify or whatever.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Do you do a whole lot of stuff with like YouTube? Do you post all your songs on YouTube too?
Yeah, well, they just get the automatic through distro, but like, not huge. Like, I dropped that video or whatever, and actually I have another video. I forgot to mention that, but we haven't finished it yet. But for like the song "Smoking Gasoline." It's like my outro song. So we're gonna do a video for that, and that's like the only time I'll really post if I have a video. But I want to do more videos just because I find that's what's when I posted the ad and stuff for like I did pay for an ad for Hiding From You and everything, but and I used to pay for ads before, and I didn't really find they didn't do much for me and whatnot. But I've realized if you have a video, that's gonna automatically draw.
Yeah, it's like the right kind of content.
It has to be the right. Because I got like 4,000 views just from that, and that was like the most. Like I was like, oh shit, like you just have to have the right content, and it's not like a ton, but compared to all my other videos.
Well, it's a cool video too. It's kind of like striking imagery in the because I saw the ad actually. It showed up on my feed at one point. I saw it when you dropped it too, but I saw it I was scrolling one time, and it's like, did you film that at Film PEI studio or something?
That was
there's
in
like
Carrie's
a
house.
really with the white background and everything.
That's his wall.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Yeah, because the lighting in that's great, and you're kind of like you've got like a mask kind of thing and stuff, and it's very like right away you're like, what's going on here kind of thing. And stuff. And then the melody's kind of cool. You're like playing air keys. It's pretty cool.
That's what my sister said. The air thing, or that's Jameson, England, film guy Jay. Have you met him? He filmed it, and I was just feeling it, and I was just fucking doing that. He's like, keep doing that, and then he got a shot of it. But all the inside shots are just in Carrie's
That's
apartment.
crazy. I thought that was a studio. Like, well, I mean, it is a studio, but like, you know what I mean? I thought like a sound stage whole thing.
Yeah,
okay, wow.
He just used like a big one of those lights, like one of the huge ones, and just shined it at us.
Interesting. Wow, that's all it takes. That's crazy, man. Yeah, DIY videos is like one of my favorite parts of the music industry. It's so cool.
Have you seen my video for Love You Anyway?
I probably did. What's the video for that one?
It's kind of like a similar thing, but that one was it's like me playing the piano and like it's me and like this girl.
Okay. Like, it's one of my favorite songs by you. I feel stupid that I haven't seen the video if it is a thing.
That one's all shot in one room.
Let me find that real quick because I totally.
A bit different because we move around the room where in the Hiding From You was just literally that wall.
Right.
But
like,
those are just effects that he put like afterwards.
Oh, really? That wasn't even in the studio like
no.
that. Eh? Oh, okay.
And then he had a smoke machine in there that he was just for some of the shots he had one of those boards, like the hoverboard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he slowly going across. So it was like one of those things, and he actually had like a thing you'd hold like this, so keep it still, and he'd go.
Very cool, gimbal or whatever that would be, I guess, or steady cam or something. Yeah, that's very cool. DIY video shit's so great, man. We shot the Trendsetter video for $70. That was like set it up in 2-3 spots or whatever.
That video is dope.
It's an alright video. It's pretty fun. Carrie did that. Yeah, Carrie's at first when I saw the video, I was like a little uncertain, but then like the second watch, I liked it more, and the third watch, I liked it more, and the fourth, I liked it, and I was like, so by the end of it, like I was just giving him credit for it the other day. I was telling him, I was like, man, that's like one of my favorite videos we've done. And like it just took me a minute almost because he said to me at one point like he was trying to do it stylized like that show 24 with Kiefer Sutherland back in the day. And as soon as he said that, I went, oh, I get it. Like I kind of see what you're doing here. And then I don't know. I like ever since that I was like, this is dope. Like, it's super good for content because like I've been able to recycle that video's use into reels on Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok and stuff because like there's a lot of shots in there that like since there's two things going on at once, you pick one of those images, zoom it in, and then you've got a 15-second clip out of that. And the other side's another 15-second clip of the same chorus.
I need to do that with the Hiding From You one, because that's the one thing I'm not great at is the real shit. I never think of it like, what should I post with this? Like, but
I feel that overthinking is I think the main thing. Like you've got a music video, so just 15-second clips of the music video. Just do that. With the lyrics if you want captions. The hook's always best. Like they always suggest the hook. I do the hook, some of the verse. I do it all. I just chop that into like 6 different parts, and that's 6 pieces. Yeah, for sure. It's reels. Hashtag that up, whatever.
Cool.
That helps. But like you know what I mean, because the whole point is just get eyeballs on it, right? And every reel you post, it's gonna get 200, 400, 600. You don't know, right?
At least. So
the other key is like say you're posting an Instagram reel. You get that music video, you load it into Instagram's like thing, and then you edit it in Instagram a tiny bit. Even if it's add the caption, even if it's a little tiny emote, whatever it might be. As soon as any of these platforms like Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, they want you editing in their app. They even want you shooting in their app if you could. But most people aren't doing that, right? Like why would you do that?
That's hard.
Yeah. So
especially Instagrams, they're.
Yeah. Well, theirs is a little wacky too. They're working on their editing features apparently, but to try and compete. But they want you. Their algorithm will push you more if it's edited a little bit at least in their thing. So even if it's the tiniest edit, tiny zoom, whatever it is, and post it up on each one, and that'll help at least get a couple more eyeballs. And that's free marketing. It's free marketing, right? Because some people are going to see that once in a while when they're scrolling or whatever, and they'll go, "Hey, what's this?" or whatever, right? So
that's why I like more I went and did the SID thing, like the podcast and the select sessions.
That's great. Yeah.
That was fun, and like I like that.
Yeah. You sounded good on those too.
He did that. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like how he sets up the reels and stuff, and then send it to me because it's like I don't have to do it. I don't like that doing that part, but I know it's important. Yeah. Like, I don't even have TikTok anymore.
Yeah, promotion on social media sucks. Like it's one of those things. It's like part of the game these days. They say, I guess. But,
it is. It's a huge part.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, and it's funny too though, because there's like some people you'll see that are really big on Instagram. They've got thousands and thousands of followers, and then if you check their monthly listeners, it's like very low.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit of a like. Every artist obviously wants to be big on social medias, but it doesn't necessarily translate. It's like the right kind of followers. You know what I mean? Like you need that. I know a girl that's a very good looking girl, and she makes pretty good music, but she's got plenty of followers, plenty of engagement on her posts because she, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But then when she drops, she might get engagement on the post, but you go to her monthly listeners, she doesn't get many plays.
Yeah.
So people are happy to engage with her and talk to her and stuff, but they're not so interested in her musical content, which sucks, right? So it's like one of those weird things where her social media following doesn't ultimately help her a lot in her music. Yeah. So it's weird, right? You need the right audience.
That's what I felt with that baby goth girl. Like she's big, and actually her thing, she with her label, it just didn't work out that well. But she was like basically in a contract where they weren't letting her release music and like all that shit.
Sucks. That's okay.
But like her I followed her mainly because she has like almost 500,000 followers because she's hot.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like, and I didn't even know she made music, and then I saw that she posted a music thing with like Trippie Redd and and Wiz or something, or like. No, the song's Trippie Redd and Lil Xan, but she has a song with Wiz too.
Oh, okay.
But I was like,
those are big features.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit. So like, and she does have like 40,000 listeners, but it's just like you said, it doesn't translate to really. She has almost 500,000 followers. It's like she should have like maybe that many listeners too. I don't know, because you do see like some artists that like Mercules or some shit. They have like 500,000 followers, but they actually have like the following, like the listeners too.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So, their engagement's really good, or like a Dax or somebody like that. He's got crazy engagement on all this stuff, and you see when he drops the videos, he's posting stuff like, "Yo, everybody go like or comment the video," and people do.
Yeah,
because they're that passionate about the music, which is crazy. Yeah.
But she's on a new label now, and hopefully, and she says that she's having an album. I think it's Columbia actually, or something, or like a Columbia affiliate or whatever.
That whole idea of getting shelved because like maybe your last record didn't do as well or whatever it was, like that sucks. You know?
It was like 3 years or something, and that sucked because like I was like releasing that song then, but then I released it later, and like it's not like huge. Like I paid money for the feature and stuff, and like that's why I don't regret it because the song is awesome, and she killed it. Like she like worked off like my melodies and shit, but I was just like, I probably wouldn't do that again until I just took the risk though. I thought she was gonna blow up.
Like
that's pretty much why I did it.
Still could.
And she still could. Yeah. She was on the Harley Quinn fucking soundtrack.
There you go. That's
like,
pretty
kind
dope.
Of thing. And that was like back then, but now if maybe her new album will be good. Who knows?
Especially if she's with a new label, who might be better at selling her too. Like there could be that possibility, right? Sometimes these like if you've got a big social media page and maybe it's not translating to the music, like the streams on Spotify, maybe it translates to the YouTube or to the you know what I mean, whatever, maybe even just brand sponsorships, they can use that platform for that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like there's definitely ways to succeed.
She even has her own brand too.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So there you go. She's probably doing all right.
Yeah. But she is. Yeah. Like it's really cool. It's just like I thought she was gonna be like
well, and you know,
and she still could be.
Yeah, still could be, and hopefully, you know, that song might pop off too, right? That'd be cool.
Never know,
right? You never know, yeah. Like if the new label knows what's up. I think there's something to like strategic, what do you call it? Strategic features or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
Investing into it. That's like definitely one that could pay off for sure.
Yeah.
I would say even maybe consider like promoting that song a bit and trying to see if you can like, I don't know. I'd go to her pages, comment, reply to some of her fan comments or something, and maybe be like, yo, I have a song with this person, you know what I mean? Like, check this out. Or, you know what I mean? Something like that. That might be a guerrilla way of doing it. You might not get much out of it.
But you never know. You know, like, I did. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not, like, crazy good with marketing. But I got, like, almost, like, it was, like, close to 1,000 listens or whatever.
Pretty good,
just from, and, like, a bunch of, like, when I released that song, my listeners went from, like, 20 monthly listeners like 200 and so.
Nice.
And now it's like back then. It's not that 20. It's more than that now. Like around 50, I think, or something. But like it shot up like crazy because it was getting put on all of the people that follow her release.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And your future releases will be in her network now too. That's the cool thing. Though. People don't think of Spotify as a social media network because it's a music streaming platform, but it's very similar to that in the way that you got a song with her. Next time you release, some of her fans, their algorithmic playlists are somewhat more likely to play you because you're attached sort of to her
It'll come
network.
Into their like release radar.
Yeah, it's possible. So it's one of those things.
And I might put it on like an actual. Oh no, I did put it on an album. So yeah. Anyways, but it was released in. I put it on Christmas Day or whatever is when I released it. But so I haven't really promoted it like too much then. But yeah, I still could.
There's all kinds of like little avenues you could take to try and like essentially try and like not steal her fan base because it's a song you guys did together, but like you target her fan base. Well, yeah, no, exactly right. But you want to target her fan base at least, and some of them will spill over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and she has like good she was in the studio with Juice whenever they fucking did that song like Trippie Redd and Juice did I fucked that bitch in the back of the Burberry.
Yeah.
1400-999 freestyle.
Rest in peace, Juice, bro.
Yeah. And there's videos of her like in the studio and stuff with him. But like she was on Trippie Redd's song. It was like the title track to one of his albums.
Trippie's dope.
Yeah.
Really good.
A Love Letter to You 3, I think, or one of those. That mixtape. She's on that song.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, there you go. That's you know what, man. Like it's one of these things that I've been saying for a few years. The music industry, quote unquote, is a lot closer than sometimes we think. If that makes sense.
Time.
A lot of artists think like, oh man, I've got to get to here before I can talk to this person or whatever. Like you.
They're just people.
Yeah, well, that's right. Like I've been in the room with a guy like Dax, just a dude. He has security because people get a little crazy.
Right?
Yeah, I opened for Dax. Cool. Yeah, but it would have been cool to meet him because like, and I was actually going to. It was really weird.
Oh, you didn't get to meet him?
No, the show ended, and he did a meet and greet. And so he's going through the meet and greet of all the people, and then the artists were going to meet him after, like, very end of the show kind of thing. And there was maybe 5 people left in the meet and greet, like, really getting there.
Yeah.
And then a girl at the entrance of the bar got in a fight with somebody right in the doorway, and there's this big scuffle, and I was actually kind of near it, and I was like, what's going on? She was just too drunk or something. Anyways, her and the security started fighting basically on the stairs to the venue, and Dax's security team was like, time to go, like, we're out of here. And they booted it out. Yeah, they were gone. So it was like, when I was saying, it kind of sucked in that way. Yeah. But yeah, it was still one of the things that, like, they're there. They're just... Like I said, they're just people that make music that are a bit more successful because they started sooner. Yeah. Started earlier, met the right people, networked the right market.
Like he's from Newfoundland originally.
I think you're right. Yeah, he's definitely Canadian. Yeah, and I think you're right.
But I think he lives in the States. Or
yeah, I think, or he at least moved to California for a while. I'm not sure if he's still there. Oh, okay.
I was reading. I think he also he lived for his childhood. Like I think he was born in Newfoundland or something, and they moved like down south or something like southern states somewhere.
Cool. I like Dax. He's good. He's good.
Dope. Yeah.
Very talented. Very talented. He's got great videos. It's one of the things I like about Dax. His video work is so good. Like that's the level I want my music videos to be at someday. Yeah. With like very professionally done music videos.
Yeah.
Big kind of big budget stuff. You know what I mean? Did you just reach out like through Instagram or something?
Yeah. She has like she was. Sometimes she doesn't do it as much anymore, but she'd post on her story like, "Oh, DM me for a feature or a story promotion."
Oh, okay,
and I just asked her how much it was, and then it was like a couple thousand, which sucks, but like I said, it was the investment that I was like, okay, well, this is gonna and I did I put on my credit card and then paid it off. So it was like
that's the way to do it. I've been saying this to a couple artists I've been speaking to about strategic features, and I think the key is either if you're not registered as a business, try and do that to get a business credit card, or if you obviously if you have a personal credit card, that works fine too. Yeah. But yeah, definitely try and find ways to like if you're gonna get a feature because they're usually very pricey. Yeah, pay it on a credit card, pay it over time. That's
or fine. I want to get now that I'm signed up with Music PEI and in the Factor thing, I want to get some grants and shit. Because my brother, he got some with his band, they paid for his whole fucking album and the music video for one of the songs and shit. So
they'll pay for the tour if you got touring and stuff like that.
It's worth it. Yeah. So I want to do it for my next album, I think not next album, but I have an album planned that's kind of a sequel to Spitting Out Chaos.
Oh, cool, yeah.
But Spitting Out Chaos is all over the place, because it has a sound, but it's also chaos, and it was pretty much just showing me showing people that I can rap more, because I was kind of all over the place, and and I wanted to rap, but not really have a concept, I guess, but some of the songs do I'll say the name of another song in a different one or whatever. Try and connect it.
Stuff. Yeah,
and cool. Try and keep it relatively the same content, but or similar content, just kind of I don't know. it had its own theme, just like just rapping, spitting out chaos,
Yeah,
spitting
exactly,
out all
yeah.
over the place,
Yeah.
just like fucking whatever. But then there's a song Acid Rain, which is like the more like I'd call it like a woke song or whatever. I don't know if it's woke, that's not probably, but it's like me talking about conscious stuff, like very much like just consciousness and things that are just like on my mind and whatnot. And I want the next album to be called Acid Rain, kind of thing. So like
more about that like kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's going to be a psychedelic more album, and it's going to have a concept, like an actual concept. It's pretty much a love story between me and LSD.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then, but LSD is going to be called Lucy, and it's going to be a girl personified as a girl, but it's always going to reference back between she's a real person or just the drug.
Oh, cool, yeah, kind of.
That's like the baseline concept. I have one song made for it so far, but that's it. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's a cool way of kind of exploring the dynamics between like maybe a potential like with relationships too. You can kind of refer to Lucy as like this drug or this kind of experience. You know what I mean? And Lucy could be a person that you have experiences or whatever with. Like it's kind of cool that you can use to have some layers in there. That's cool.
That's what I want to do, and like because I've always like I like that, but I just most of my albums like or like just me was just figuring out stuff, and I wasn't really thinking of like the album as a whole, pretty much. Even not that I didn't think about it, and I've said that like Spitting Out Chaos was just for me. Like a lot of it's freestyle too. Like I was just like, I want to fucking just go in and do it, kind of thing, and not have to think too hard, but still have like messages in each song. Yeah. But it's not a concept. But, like, I got you. And have a similar sound. But
I like that. For my new record, I'm kind of trying to do something similar, like kind of a concept, but not like I would say my Chasing Planes EP was like a concept record. Like there weren't it wasn't very like personal, even though there's like a couple lyrics and stuff. And one of the songs, like Ghost, is a very personal song, but at the same time, it's like I guess I was talking about it the other day with somebody. It's like not so much talking about me though. You know what I mean? And I think on this new record, I want to tell people more about me and my relationships and stuff, right? Whereas Ghost was about a relationship I had with somebody very volatile and like about like your past haunting you and stuff like that. Like that was kind of what it was about. But that didn't really talk about like me. Like I said, it was mostly like how they affected me, right?
Yeah,
and that's not like you know what I mean.
So people can relate.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like a more broad spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for my new one, I'm trying to talk about some of my more interpersonal relationships and more like how I've changed and how people have changed how they treated me even since I started doing music, even though my success levels haven't been crazy or anything. But and so it kind of gives you an idea of how crazy it could be if things blew up. Like imagine, like it's not like people like treat me totally differently now than they used to, but it's quite a big difference I noticed in the last few years. And I just extrapolate that and go like, imagine if it had been 10 times the success or 100 times success, how much different the relationship would be with all these people, right? So I like to dive into that complexity and kind of go like, this is how things have changed in my life in the last few years since that last record. So I'm hoping to dive into that and really kind of have, that's kind of the concept, but I don't really want to like make it about me as music either, right? So I'm kind of trying to keep it to like a character who's sort of like me, but it was like if I was way more successful. That's kind of what I'm trying to go with.
Yeah,
with this
it's
record,
like a perspective. It's like
like
I
a
really
persona
like
or something.
A persona or something, and it's just like a concept.
Like a story
like
too,
a
like you said, a bit of a story in that too. That's
but
right.
It has your personal stuff, and that's like the same thing. Like I want it to be a story, and it's gonna have like a streamline, like this is like a scene, like a movie, like scene. But it's like I'm gonna rap like it's called Acid Rain, right? But I want to have a song called Acid, like Rain, spelled like REIG.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then, but also like because there was one time in my life where like I don't know if I really thought about this, but I was like, oh fuck it, like I can take like this dose of it, whatever. It's not gonna like it'll fuck me up, but pretty much like I can conquer this drug pretty much, right? And I learned very quickly that I couldn't. Like, I took 2 tabs one time, and it was my second time ever doing it, and it just fucking took my ego and just fucked it up. Pretty much.
It was like, I'll show you.
Nothing like the first time. The first time was all whatever. But then, and then I just realized, I think a lot of people do that. Like with psychedelics and stuff, like they get too cocky, and then it fucking breaks them down.
Yeah, for sure.
If they start doing them a lot or whatever, and I've definitely been there. And I think that you can relate that with anything, not just psychedelics. So like, that's like one of them, and then like near the end, I think it'll be like, oh, I realized like it's not about conquering it or whatever. It's about just kind of like letting it be or whatever. Like the whole like idea of it is understanding like pretty much my journey through with psychedelics and what they've taught me.
Cool.
Basically,
Yeah.
like the first would be like crazy shit, and then it's just kind of like mellowed out from there, and that I'm still learning, like kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Will this madness ever end? I'm picking up the pieces, going down that road again. And will this madness ever end? I don't know. I'm picking up the pieces, going